But it's this kind of frozen place with strange eruptions from the surface that kind of rise up into space but then go flat because of this tenuous atmosphere that the place has. The great thing about this series, Solar System, is it's all based on new discoveries, new ideas, new data. So I learned a lot in making the series. I mean, we have discoveries, images that were taken in 2023. So it's all during filming. Something like, I can't remember the number, 40-something spacecraft currently active in the solar system.
For centuries, the moon has drawn our curiosity and imagination. It's long been seen as a source of mystery and endless questions. But what if everything you've learned about the moon, its origin, structure, and actual role, was completely inaccurate?
If you look at the surface of the moon, for example, it's covered in craters. And that was caused, they all seem to hit about the same time. And it's about 3.8 billion years ago or so.
In a recent interview, famous physicist Brian Cox made a startling announcement. The moon isn't what you think. So what has Brian Cox revealed this time? And how do his findings go against the common beliefs we've held for decades? Join us as we take a closer look with Brian Cox at why the moon may not be what we think it is, and uncover lunar details and surprising discoveries that challenge what we thought we knew. It's worth asking why humans haven't returned to the moon since 1972. The Apollo 11 mission in 1969 was a major moment in space history. Since then, technology has advanced, and launching a mission to the moon has become more possible. Brian Cox recently shared his thoughts on current efforts to return to the moon. One major step forward came from China, which successfully sent a robotic spacecraft to collect samples from the moon. This development adds another layer to the ongoing story of lunar exploration. What stands out is how China seems to be following the U.S. model while taking faster paths to reach similar goals. Brian Cox noted that while today's situation may not look like the space race of the past, there are still serious military angles to keep in mind when it comes to space. He cautioned that as visits to the moon become more common, we must think about what motives might be behind them. Countries like Russia and China are both developing hypersonic drones, which are becoming the weapon of choice in modern warfare. Brian Cox stated that the moon itself doesn't have much military importance because it's only a few days away. That comment highlights how the focus is shifting toward more strategic elements of space activity and the dangers that may come with it. Back on Earth, the race to develop hypersonic weapons raises valid concerns. This is where the creation of the United States Space Force becomes relevant. While some people initially dismissed the idea, it's now clearer why the Space Force was launched. The U.S. manages over half of the world's satellites, which are essential for both communication and the economy. The Space Force is meant to protect those systems. At the same time, it's important to make sure this doesn't spiral into an uncontrolled space arms race. Brian Cox has also spoken about secretive U.S. missions to the moon. Now, let's look at how private individuals are shaping space efforts. Entrepreneurs like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are pushing space exploration forward in their own ways. Musk wants to create a future where humans live on more than one planet. Bezos sees a world where heavy industry is moved off Earth, preserving our planet's environment. Each of them has a different view, but both are tapping into space's possibilities. Their efforts show how private companies are bringing new ideas and energy into space exploration. Musk even sells tickets for future moon trips, making the idea of a honeymoon on the moon something future generations might actually experience. The space scene is full of action right now. China's lunar missions, military strategies, the U.S. Space Force, and private companies are all shaping how we move forward. While reaching the moon may not matter much in terms of defense, hypersonic drones are becoming a bigger issue. Russia claims to already have working hypersonic weapons, and China is working on similar technology. Recently, something unexpected has caught the attention of scientists. Researchers confirmed that tiny glass beads on the moon's surface contain water. China's Chang'e 5 lander made this discovery during a successful sample collection mission, and it has left many experts intrigued. The excitement grew once these beads were collected and analyzed. The study was published in Nature Geoscience and brought new attention to the mystery of water on the moon. It also raised fresh questions about what this means for future lunar missions and long-term space plans. As a result, a group of researchers began a detailed scientific investigation, closely examining a collection of 117 small glass beads. These beads were carefully selected from a lunar soil sample collected by the robotic arm of the Chang'e 5 lander during its lunar mission. The researchers studied these lunar materials using advanced tools like field emission scanning, electron microscopy, electron probe microanalysis, and Raman spectroscopy. What they discovered was surprising. With careful analysis, they confirmed that water was present inside the glass beads. For many years, scientists have been trying to understand how water exists on the moon, where it came from, how it is distributed, and how it has changed over time within the lunar surface. According to physicist Brian Cox, these recent findings add important details to our growing knowledge about water on the moon. This updated understanding could help shape future lunar missions. It also improves our understanding of how water might exist on other airless bodies in the solar system. The Chang'e 5 mission, launched by China in December 2020, was an important step in moon exploration. The goal of the mission was to collect the newest lunar samples and bring them back to Earth. Using its robotic arm, the Chang'e 5 lander gathered samples from the surface and secured important materials, including the water-containing glass beads. Brian Cox points out that the limited discovery of water on the moon could be due to the long gap between surface missions. Before Chang'e 5, the last soft landing on the moon took place in 1976 with the Soviet Union's Lunar 24 mission. That 37-year gap left a large space in our efforts to explore the moon more deeply. Now, the future of lunar exploration looks more active, with several projects underway. One of them is NASA's Commercial Lunar Payload Services program, which has multiple missions planned. Among them is the Volatiles Investigating Polar Exploration rover, expected to land near the moon's south pole in late 2023. The goal of this mission is to search for ice, which could become an important resource for future lunar activities. While solid proof of ice may still take time, experts believe there are early signs of water. Until recently, it was commonly thought that water could only be found in the moon's permanently shadowed areas, but this idea has changed due to new data from NASA's Stratospheric Observatory for Infrared Astronomy. For the first time, water was found in the sunlit parts of the moon. This discovery challenges earlier beliefs and changes how scientists think about where water can be found on the moon. Brian Cox believes that this important discovery suggests water might exist across the entire surface of the moon, challenging earlier assumptions and sparking renewed interest among scientists and space fans. This finding opens the door to new possibilities for sustainable missions, resource use, and the idea of future human settlements on the moon. At the same time, Dr. Hannibal and her team, using NASA's unique airborne observatory, SOFIA, played a major role in uncovering this lunar detail. Their research has expanded what we know, changed how we look at the moon's potential, and encouraged further investigation. Picture the SOFIA aircraft flying high in the sky, equipped with a powerful infrared telescope. This advanced tool lets scientists study the universe without the interference caused by Earth's atmosphere. With clear views, they explore space and direct their attention to the moon. They focused on the Clavius crater, one of the largest lunar craters visible from Earth. It stretches about 231 kilometers across and goes 3.5 kilometers deep. This massive formation is a reminder of the Moon's geological history. Inside the crater, researchers found clear and unmistakable signs of water molecules. This discovery adds another piece to the puzzle of how water is distributed on the Moon, helping us understand more about its complex nature. Finding water in the Clavius crater gives us valuable information and encourages future missions to explore even further. Details of this discovery were published in the journal Nature Astronomy, offering updated insights into our changing view of the Moon. Think back to when Apollo astronauts first landed on the Moon. At that time, the Moon was believed to be completely dry, with no water in sight. But the rocks they brought back told a different story. Some of them held signs that water might be present. These early results were dismissed at the time, thought to be due to contamination. That slowed down our progress. But now, new research has confirmed that water does exist on the Moon, bringing back interest and curiosity. This finding changes how we think about the Moon's structure and opens up new paths for exploration. One major part of this shift is the discovery of a new lunar mineral, which could change what we know about the Moon. Samples collected during China's Chang'e 5 mission have added fresh knowledge to our understanding. These samples act like records of the Moon's past, holding clues about both lunar and Earth history. Brian Cox points out that comparing these new findings with samples from NASA's Apollo missions and the Soviet lunar landers helps deepen our understanding of the Moon. During the Chang'e 5 mission, the spacecraft successfully collected about 1.73 kilograms of lunar samples from the surface. Once brought back to Earth, the samples were carefully studied, revealing new information about the Moon's composition, geology, and history. Among the discoveries, Chinese scientists found a new mineral called changesite Y. This mineral is a significant step forward in our study of the Moon. Changesite Y is a crystal that belongs to the bryolite group and is chemically related to phosphate marylite. What makes it especially interesting is that it contains helium-3. Helium-3 could be a future energy source, possibly used in advanced nuclear fusion reactors, according to Brian Cox. But the challenge is that helium-3 is extremely rare on Earth, while it appears to be more common on the Moon. This discovery has led to ongoing discussions about the race to tap into the Moon's resources, something Brian Cox has also talked about. While the exact financial value of this lunar fuel is still unknown, one thing is certain. Extracting and transporting the crystals needed to power fusion reactors will be difficult and costly. Organizing such an operation brings a wide range of challenges. This major accomplishment by China puts them in a small group of countries, along with the United States and Russia, that have discovered a mineral on the Moon. It also marks the first discovery of a lunar mineral in over 40 years, highlighting the significance and potential of further lunar missions. Scientists have long been interested in helium-3 and its potential to help unlock nuclear fusion, the same process that powers the stars and could one day provide clean, limitless energy for people on Earth. But creating a fusion reactor that can actually make this process work is still out of reach. The idea that helium-3 could be found on the Moon has created a lot of excitement, with some hoping it might change the way we power the world with clean and sustainable energy. Brian Cox has said that helium-3 fusion would be much safer and cleaner than traditional nuclear energy, producing very little radiation and minimal waste. Because of this, many have started to see fusion as a more reliable and secure way to generate power. The potential of helium-3 is huge. Just 25 tons, roughly the payload of a single space shuttle, could supply enough energy to power the United States for an entire year. Due to this energy output, helium-3 is estimated to be worth around $3 billion per ton. The effort to collect helium-3 has become a global competition, drawing interest from private companies and government space programs. Getting this material from the Moon has sparked new interest in space exploration, resource extraction, and space-based mining. As demand for clean energy grows, helium-3 is becoming more attractive, pushing forward innovation and changing how we think about future energy sources. The discovery of helium-3 on the Moon has triggered a competitive push to mine it, starting a new phase of international interest and investment. This breakthrough could play a role in building a cleaner and more reliable energy future. Attention has now shifted toward the Moon's far side, specifically the South Pole Aitken Basin. This massive impact crater, thought to be the Moon's oldest, offers valuable information about both the Moon's development and the wider solar system. Its geological features provide new insights into how the Moon evolved, helping scientists better understand similar objects in space. China is preparing for its next lunar mission, Chang'e 6, which will focus on the South Pole Aitken Basin located on the Moon's far side. This planned mission will include an orbiter, a lander, an ascent vehicle, and a re-entry capsule, all working together to study this unexplored part of the Moon in 2024. This area, mostly hidden in darkness, features deep craters, possible crystal formations, and minerals that may never have been seen before. Traveling to the Moon's far side comes with its own set of engineering problems, especially because there's no direct line of communication with spacecraft. But new discoveries from the United States have helped push forward interest in exploring this difficult terrain. The South Pole Aitken Basin has always caught scientists' attention due to its unique characteristics, giving us a clearer picture of the Moon's internal structure and past. It may still hold answers to some of the Moon's most puzzling questions. Researching the South Pole Aitken Basin could reveal a lot about how the Moon formed and changed over time. Its large size and well-preserved surface make it a key area for future missions, with the potential to reveal more about the Moon's history. Each mission brings us closer to understanding what lies beneath the Moon's surface and adds to our knowledge of the solar system around us. The South Pole Aitken Basin on the Moon contains a range of geological features that have drawn the attention of scientists for years. By studying its distinct characteristics, researchers can better understand the Moon's history and gather information that applies to planetary science as a whole. This wide region, filled with large and well-preserved craters, might offer key insights into how impact craters form, how asteroids behave, and how resources are spread throughout the Moon's crust. As research continues in this part of the Moon, scientists often come across surprising findings and make important observations. A group of US-based scientists recently discovered something unusual beneath the South Pole Aitken Basin. Hidden deep inside one of the solar system's largest preserved craters, they found a massive and extremely heavy structure weighing more than 2.18 billion kilograms. Spanning 300 kilometers in depth and 2,000 kilometers in length, this huge object left the researchers stunned. They believe this strange mass could either be made of metallic material from an asteroid's core or consist of oxides that formed as a magma ocean cooled and hardened. Lead researcher Peter B. James from Baylor University in Houston explained the scale of the object by asking us to imagine a pile of metal 5 times larger than the big island of Hawaii buried under the Moon's surface. The discovery of this hidden mass has created new opportunities to study the Moon's makeup and the forces that shaped it over billions of years. Another major insight into the Moon's internal structure has come from NASA's Grail mission. By tracking small shifts in the Moon's gravitational field, scientists uncovered details that expanded their understanding and opened new possibilities for future research. This discovery adds more clarity to the Moon's formation and geological timeline and encourages more investigation into the unknowns that still exist. According to a recent study published in Nature, the Moon has a solid inner core with a density close to iron, which is surrounded by a liquid outer core. Scientists are continuing to study this structure to learn more about how our solar system formed. These findings were made possible by the Grail project, which launched 2 spacecraft in 2011 to orbit the Moon and track gravitational changes between them. By studying the data, scientists were able to pinpoint the spacecraft's movements and learn about the Moon's interior. For a long time, seismic activity has been used to understand the makeup of celestial bodies. Although NASA's Apollo missions gathered seismic data in the past, it wasn't detailed enough to confirm the Moon's core structure. But newer missions and laser-based measurements have helped provide clearer answers. Thanks to the Grail mission and the use of laser distance tracking, scientists could identify shifts in the Moon's gravity and its overall density. These findings are important because they have changed how scientists view the Moon's magnetic field history and given more support to the theory of global mantle overturns, which helps explain the Moon's evolution. As the Moon keeps sending back data to Earth, our understanding of space grows deeper. These recent discoveries lead us to wonder what other hidden features the Moon holds and whether life could ever be supported outside of Earth. Once seen as a distant mystery, the Moon is slowly revealing its secrets, encouraging us to keep searching and learning more about space. Thanks for watching this, and we will see you in the next video.